Singh, the Associate Professor of English of the Juthalal Sanskrit College, Majaulia, West Champaran. Today I am going to teach the students of Upshastri first year the poem is prescribed for them. Each the chimney sweeper. This poem has been composed by William Blake. He was a great social thinker and he was a famous poet also. In this poem, he reveals in his poetry soul's relationship with God and God's ways to man. The kingdom of heaven is within you. This is his great philosophy of life. This is his thought. Such a realization is the object of Blake's mysticism. He was a great philosopher, great social thinker. The chimney sweeper has been taken from Songs of Innocence. It is a simple poem about childhood. From an urchin's mouth, the poem tells of a dream of release from the drudgery and dirt of chimney sweeping, a dream, and emboldens the children to continue their job. The poem dwells upon the rest conditions of the children employed as chimney sweepers by factories and industries. The children were required to work hard there. Their heads were cleanly shaved so that the soot of a small drink pockets of fire from the furnaces may not burn them. They had to live and sleep under inhuman conditions. They were very badly treated by the industrialists and the capitalists of those days. This poem is a homespun voice supporting the contemplated legislation against the use of children as chimney sweepers. During 16th and the 17th century, slavery system was on the extremist point of our society. Those days, children were sold, men and women were sold in our society, and they were purchased by the rich persons of our society. They had to live their lives as a slave to the homes and to the factories and industries of the capitalists. This was a rascal tradition of England and in South Africa also, on which the poet William Blake had deeply thought and repented the inhuman treatment and behavior of the rich persons of our society. To see these scenes of the children used in factories and industries, to see their wretched conditions, to see their inhuman behavior, the poet thought deeply and contemplated on the lives of children. However, the children in the society at the earliest stage, they had to study, they had their other duties. But after joining the factories and industries, the children of those days of the poor society had to join the service in the factories and industries to clean the dirt and dusts and other dirt elements of the factory. To see these conditions of children, the poet was compelled to compose this poem. Those days, slavery system was in practice and bonded labor was also in practice. Thus the poet begins to lament on the wretched condition of the children, and the poet exclaims with sorrow, "When my mother died, I was very young, and my father sold me while yet my tongue could scarcely cry, weep, 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 show your chimneys I sweep, and in soot I sleep." This is the starting and the first stanza of the poem. The first line of the poem indicates the dreadful sins, the dreadful conditions, and the heart-touching cry of the children of those days. After being sold by their parents, by their guardian, the children were kept into carriage, and there they were very badly treated, and they were carried away to the factories. Through this stanza, we see the pictorial description, the picturesque of that scene that trembles the heart of the readers. In In other words, we may say that the poet has very bitterly satirized the wretched condition, and this social ill tradition of slavery the poet wants to see the children at the childish stage as free as the flower, as free as the bird in the sky. But due to poverty, the children of the poor classes society were sold those days, and their duty was to sweep out the dirt